Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got videos today from Poor Man's Podcast.
Gillette lost $9 billion trying to fix men. Yeah,
Damn.
I remember they made an ad a few years ago kind of putting down men. And sure, a bunch of women applauded the advertisement, but their core audience, the people who actually buy their razors, which are men, weren't having it. They went to full protest mode.
On January 13th, 2019,
I don't buy
posted
Gillette.
a video asking, "Is this the best a man can get?" The ad showed men bullying each other,
I use like a electric razor.
harassing women, and talking over female colleagues, then suggested their customers were part of the problem. Within 48 hours, the ad had racked up 400,000 dislikes, making it one of the most disliked advertisements in YouTube history.
Good.
Customers started posting videos of themselves throwing Gillette razors in the trash. The hashtag boycott Gillette trended worldwide. 6 months later, Procter & Gamble announced an $8 billion write-down on the Gillette brand.
Wow.
The division CEO's response when asked about the backlash? A price worth paying.
See, this is why I think that there's a larger global agenda.
So they doubled down on losing money and your core demographic of audience.
You could call me tinfoil hat conspiracy guy, but it seems like no matter what, no matter how much money the companies lose from the backlash, no matter how much we say we don't want it in the movies, we don't want this stuff in the schools, we just want to go be able to buy the products without being lectured by soulless companies and corporations, no matter how much we say that. It just seems like there's a larger global agenda that matters more to the companies than even the money that they lose. And I don't know very much that matters more to these soulless companies than money. So I just said, call me tinfoil hat conspiracy guy.
I actually kind of agree with Poor Man on this one. These major corporations, all they care about is money, and they're willing to lose money. There must be something afoot.
But for some reason, they just keep pushing this stuff no matter what.
Story of how Gillette, a company that had dominated men's grooming for 118 years, decided to challenge its own customers on masculinity itself, and how that decision became one of the most expensive marketing lessons in modern business history.
Good.
To understand the collapse, you need to understand the empire. In 1901, King Kemp Gillette invented the safety razor. Before that, men used straight razors that needed constant sharpening. Gillette's idea was revolutionary: cheap handles, expensive disposable blades.
Yeah, and I bet the safety aspect of it was super important too.
The razor and blades business model before anyone called it that. By World War I, the US military gave every soldier a Gillette razor. When they came home, they brought the habit with them.
Yeah, see, I would imagine like the safety aspect of it, if you have people that are dealing with, trauma, mental trauma from having to be in war, you don't want them having a huge straight razor, right? That might cause some issues. So maybe there was a safety
that might be
aspect
bad.
of it too. And that's part of the reason why the military adopted it. I bet you the convenience was huge too.
For the next century,
Put it in your
Gillette
pocket.
didn't just
Very mobile.
dominate shaving. It defined masculinity in advertising. Their ads featured athletes, celebrities, and aspirational imagery.
That's what you should
in
do.
1989, they launched the tagline, "The best a man can get," and men bought into it. By the early 2000s, Gillette controlled 70% of the global razor market.
Exactly.
With that kind of dominance, they could price their cartridges 35% higher than the competition.
And that's all you get. That's all you get, bro. If you're selling razors, you get 70% of the global market. You don't get to destroy your audience or shit on your audience because you want to appeal to a broader audience of what, bearded ladies? I don't know who you're trying to appeal to by grabbing more than 70%.
I wonder how many bearded ladies are out there nowadays.
70% of the global audience or over the global market. But in my opinion, that's all you get. And if your greed drives you to the point where you feel like you have to put down your customer base in order to get more people to buy your stuff, if that fails and has backlash, then you deserve it. 70% of the global market should be enough. That sounds like domination to me. I mean, how much more do you want?
Nobody
it's just
blinked.
greed.
Such power attracted attention. Procter & Gamble bought the company in 2005 for $57 billion, the largest acquisition in their history.
Well, they done lost
for
a
over
lot of
100
money.
years, Gillette had been untouchable. By 2018, Gillette faced a problem advertising couldn't solve. Market share had dropped from 70% to 54%. Revenue in the grooming division had fallen 26% over 3 years.
Why is
the
that?
brand that had dominated for over a century was
I think it's like Harry's razors and all those other ones came
hemorrhaging
out.
customers. Part of this was cultural. Beards became fashionable. Men's average shaving frequency dropped from 3.7 to 3.2 times per week.
Yeah, but I think for Gillette, a company that spent 100 years growing the trust between their brand and men, I don't think it would have been a hard pivot for them to start getting into beard care.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there are plenty of companies like Dove Soap, they sell body wash. and they also have a dish detergent, right? So there are companies that pivot all the time. I don't think it would be a stretch or reach for Gillette, who's known for their razors,
to be a beard trimmer,
to pivot into beard care if they wanted to just expand their brand. Plenty of brands do that. So I don't understand. You would assume that somebody at this billion-dollar company would have thought of that bright idea, but it doesn't seem like it would have been hard for them to just move into beard oils and stuff like that.
Right. Well, beard oil, beard trimmers, beard combs, Gillette.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Over the decade,
it's not a big
younger
pivot.
men grew facial hair, watched YouTube tutorials on beard grooming, bought oils and balms instead of razors. The US shaving market itself experienced contraction during this period. Manual razor sales fell 5.1% year over year from 2017 to 2018. But the bigger threat came from a different direction entirely.
Harry's.
In 2011, two guys launched Dollar Shave Club. The
Dollar
following
Shave
year,
Club,
they made a
okay.
YouTube video where the founder said directly to camera,
"Our blades are f***ing great."
Yeah.
it went viral. Within 48 hours,
Because
they
he
had
knows that that's what guys like. Guys like edgy stuff. You want to appeal to the younger male audience, maybe make an edgier ad, right? Show young men that get women and they use Gillette. Like, that's how you appeal to a younger audience of men, if we're just completely being honest.
I'm a horrible advertiser, so I wouldn't even know.
So yeah, that's an edgy ad. I could see how that would attract a younger customer base.
12,000 orders that crashed their website. The pitch was simple.
Yeah,
Why
that's a
pay
good ad.
$25 for cartridges when $3 blades work fine? Subscribe and they'll ship them to your door. No drugstore trips, no unlocking them from behind plastic cases. In 2013, another startup called Harry's launched
Yes,
with
that's
the
the
same
one I
approach.
thought of.
Lower prices, better design, direct to consumer. Gillette tried fighting back with discounts. Blade prices dropped 12% in 2017.
Dang.
It didn't matter. Sales kept falling. All they accomplished was making less money on products fewer people wanted. The subscription companies had something Gillette didn't. They felt like brands built for a new generation, not their fathers.
Oh,
True.
so Gillette was basically being like Blockbuster when Netflix came along. How
Kinda,
Netflix
seems
kind of
like it.
introduced the subscription model. Blockbuster refused to adapt and see that the subscription model was something of the future. And so
And they thought that they can be just only razors. They don't have to go to beards and all these other things.
so they just disappeared as a company, right? So that's kind of what Gillette was doing. Instead of just adapting and becoming, I think as Gillette, having your brand already be what it is, it would have been really easy for you to take a bunch of business away from those smaller companies if they would have just followed the subscription model. But
And just add other products, just like the beard grooming, the beard oils and combs and stuff, as one big package.
their refusal to adapt, somebody at Gillette was like, you know what? Our customers are starting to leave for a subscription model. You know what we should do? Make an advertisement that shits on our customer base. How about that? It's just crazy to me that somebody at a billion-dollar company that's been around for 100 years decided that that was
I don't think it was that entirely. I think it was some woman coming out and just like, I got the perfect ad. And then men were just like, oh?
a good idea. Like, we're going to spend 100 years developing this brand and trust with men, and we're going to destroy it in a 60-second ad. I mean, how dumb could you possibly be? They should have just adapted to the subscription model. Like, tech companies do this all the time. You have Snapchat that invents the story, then Instagram adopts.
I mean, one big one is Adobe. You used to buy Adobe programs and you have it for life. Now it's a subscription model. You can't buy the programs anymore. You literally have to subscribe to their subscription model.
Then YouTube, then Facebook, then TikTok, and now you can upload a story everywhere, and it kind of just makes Snapchat kind of lose a lot of their customer base. So I don't know why they didn't just go that route. It just doesn't make any sense.
Gillette's leadership understood the problem. Gary Coombe, who ran P&G's grooming division, acknowledged the challenge. The company was losing share, awareness, and penetration with younger consumers.
Yeah.
The solution they chose would test whether a 118-year-old razor company could rebuild relevance by challenging masculinity itself.
Why would you do that?
In 2018, taking a stand had become a marketing strategy. The examples were everywhere. Nike made Colin Kaepernick, who knelt during the national anthem, the face of their Dream Crazy campaign.
Yeah, because I'm sure Nike cares about black people. They just use like child labor. And then they want to virtue signal to us that we should do the right thing, right? Because they just so much care about black people. It's not about selling products. It's they.
This is what I feel about most companies out there, right? Like, they're not there to help out anybody or do much in the overall scheme of the world other than make money.
care about the people, right? Yeah, we just replaced 10,000 human beings with artificial intelligence, including a father who has a mortgage and now his family's going to have to sell their home because we care about the people. That's why we're here. We genuinely care about the people. Buy our stuff. And I'm really not even saying that it's bad to buy the product necessarily. I'm mostly saying that if you're buying the product because you think that the company cares about you,
correct,
you're dumb.
Parkland shooting, Dick's Sporting Goods dropped assault rifles entirely. Patagonia went even further, suing the Trump administration over public lands. These weren't fringe campaigns. They were coming from global brands with billions in revenue. Nielsen research showed 66% of consumers would pay more for products from socially responsible companies. Marketing agencies were delivering the same.
Yeah, they say that, but I don't think it really translates that well because it costs more. If a brand costs more, even though they're a healthier, better brand overall, people still might not gravitate towards it because of the cost.
Same message to their clients. Brands needed to stand for something beyond products.
Yeah.
The timing seemed perfect for Gillette to do exactly that. The Me Too movement had sparked global conversation.
Or you could just sell us the thing.
Yeah, or just...
You could just sell us the thing. You could just sell us the thing that we want to buy. You don't have to give us a lecture on morality. I don't think people want moral lessons from soulless companies, especially now that we know a lot of these CEOs and powerful people are indulging on these special secret islands, right? We don't want moral lessons from soulless companies that are willing to do anything and say anything to make an extra dollar.
I mean, these companies have done such a good job of shaming the public and shaming the people. Look at recycling. That was probably one of the biggest examples we have of how companies and corporations shifted all that blame onto people. That, it's our fault why there's so much plastic in the world. No, it's not because of these companies just using massive amounts of plastic.
About male behavior and masculinity. As a men's brand that had spent decades defining what masculinity looked like in advertising, Gillette was uniquely positioned to weigh in. Leadership saw an opportunity to connect with younger consumers who cared about these issues. So they decided to address toxic masculinity. Gray New York, Gillette's agency, developed a campaign.
You want younger men to get your product? This is what you do. You show a young man with a big old beard looking sad and depressed because he's unkept. He shaves his beard. He goes outside. He gets the promotion. He gets the girl. He drives a fast car. He looks clean cut. And I
think poor man needs to be a freaking ad writer or something because I think he's got it.
Lives a happy life. That's how you appeal to young men. You don't tell them that they're toxic for wanting to do MMA or for trying to hit on women. That's just not that's not how you appeal to young men.
That would flip the brands.
I mean, young men already feel alienated in the dating market and everything, and then you just kind of piled on top of them.
30-year tagline. Instead of the best a man can get, the message became the best men can be. To direct it, they hired Kim Gehrig, the Australian filmmaker.
Okay, now it all makes sense, right? Now we got it. It all makes sense now. You got this woman who cares more about virtue signaling and showing her political opinion in the ad than actually selling the razors. So she comes along. Who thought that it would be a good idea to put a woman in charge of a brand that's historically been male?
It's crazy.
Who thought that would be a good idea?
This is exactly what I said, wasn't it? It was just some woman came along. It was like, I got an idea. And the guys were just like, huh?
Behind Sport England's This Girl Can, a campaign aimed at empowering women. Gillette was now asking a director known for speaking to women to deliver a message about masculinity to men. This wasn't just going to be an advertisement.
I have the best man for the job, a woman.
It was a complete repositioning of what the brand represented. Gillette committed $3 million to non-profits focused on supporting boys and men, partnering with organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. The logic seemed sound. Align with progressive values, attract younger and more diverse customers who weren't buying razors like their fathers did, and build loyalty that went beyond price points and features. The plan was set. In January 2019, they were ready to make history. They just didn't expect it to be this kind of history. On January 13th, 2019, Gillette uploaded the film to YouTube. The ad opened with men staring into mirrors as audio of news reports played, references to bullying, the hashtag #MeToo movement, and toxic masculinity. Then it showed a series of scenes. Boys fighting while fathers muttered, "Boys will be boys." Men catcalling women on the street. Male executives talking over female colleagues in meetings. Then actor Terry Crews appeared in footage from his congressional testimony.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
The ad shifted to positive examples. A father stopping his son from bullying.
Imagine
men have have always held other men accountable. Do you think we're okay with other men doing bad things?
Maybelline like doing an ad where there's a woman that's just falsely accusing a man of a sexual charge, or there's a woman that's going to an abortion clinic to get an abortion, and women need to do better. That's how we're going to appeal to women. Like, in what world did they think that that was going to work? It's like they almost knew it wasn't going to work, but they just didn't care, probably because the person that was in charge of it was
True.
a woman who did nothing to build this brand, and she doesn't understand men at all, right? She
got paid to do a job. She did the job.
Just has a political agenda, and that's what she cares about the most.
A man intervening in street harassment, young boys learning respect. The film ran 1 minute and 48 seconds, and not a single razor appeared. The YouTube comments section exploded immediately. Users complained about being called rapists and bullies. Others declared they were done with the brand after decades. The problem wasn't the message itself, it was who was delivering it and how. The ad spent most of its runtime showing men behaving badly, bullying, catcalling, dismissing women. Positive examples came only at the end.
Let's just be honest here. Catcalling is not behaving badly. It's only behaving badly if the woman doesn't find you attractive. It's always seen as flattering when the woman finds you attractive. And I get it. Some guys have to know when to get off the gas pedal, right? If the woman looks uncomfortable or she rejects you, then it's time to lay back. I understand that aspect of it. But just shooting your shot in public is not harassment, bro. It's only harassment when the...
It's weird that they call just approaching someone catcalling. I remember catcalling back in the day was literally like men whistling and kind of making loud, woo, ah, like you know, at women walking by. I remember that was what catcalling was. Not, you look beautiful today. Oh, stop catcalling me.
A woman doesn't find you attractive.
For many male viewers, the message felt less like inspiration and more like accusation. You are the problem. And it was coming from a razor company, a brand that had spent decades profiting from aggressive masculine imagery, sponsoring boxing, football, celebrating competition. Now that same brand wanted to lecture its customers about toxic masculinity. To critics, it wasn't social responsibility, it was hypocrisy. British journalist Piers Morgan, who had over 6 million Twitter followers at the time, posted, "I've used Gillette razors my entire adult life, but this absurd virtue signaling may drive me away to a company less eager to fuel the current pathetic global assault on masculinity." His response became a rallying cry.
Okay, Piers out here being based. Okay, Piers. Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Conservative commentators amplified it, and YouTube channels made response videos that garnered millions of views. Hashtag boycott Gillette trended globally. Customers filmed themselves throwing razors in the trash.
See, this is like, if men really wanted to, we can change things. It's just sometimes when it comes to women, we're really reluctant to change things for them. You know, like we're really reluctant to control and do things to women.
Some videos receiving hundreds of thousands of views. The ad accumulated 400,000 dislikes against 200,000 likes. It became one of the most disliked ads in YouTube history. Not everyone reacted negatively. Bernice King, Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, called it pro-humanity. Marketing experts praised Gillette for...
With all due respect, we don't care.
We don't care.
She's not Martin for a reason. Now, we care if she got something to say about Martin Luther King's legacy, but as far as her political opinions, you're not Martin, sister. I'm sorry. We don't care about your opinion on this topic.
Taking a stand. But
and
the
it's a woman
voices,
too, not
the
even
ones
a man.
the
So it's like
were angry, and those voices belonged to people who'd been buying Gillette products for decades. The backlash was so severe that Gillette eventually disabled YouTube comments entirely, and later quietly removed the video from their channel. The question everyone was asking, would the outrage actually hurt sales, or was this just internet noise? Over the next 6 months, the answer became clear. P&G's earnings reports revealed the damage. Grooming segment net sales fell from $6.5 billion in fiscal 2018 to $6.2 billion in fiscal 2019, a decline of $352 million
That's a lot.
in a single year. And the market share numbers backed it up. According to P&G's own annual reports, Gillette's global blades and razors share dropped from nearly 65% to just over 60%, continuing a troubling pattern of decline. Where did those customers go? The competitors who'd been chipping away at Gillette's dominance suddenly found themselves with an influx of new customers. Dollar Shave Club and Harry's gained market share. Even Schick, a traditional rival that had struggled for years, saw customers switching. 6 months after the ad launched,
I do remember the chic ones.
P&G held its quarterly earnings call. CFO John Moeller announced an $8 billion write-down on the Gillette brand.
I mean, those companies don't even need a marketing department if Gillette keeps up with this. I mean, they're doing the best marketing for those other companies they could possibly do. They did a great job for those other companies.
The charge created a net loss of over $5 billion for the quarter. Mueller attributed the write-down to currency fluctuations and structural changes. Fewer men shaving, increased competition, changing consumer habits. The ad wasn't mentioned in the official statement, but the timing was impossible to ignore.
Yeah, exactly.
6 months after the most controversial campaign in company history, Gillette had just lost $8 billion in brand value. Everyone wanted to know the same thing. Would leadership admit the campaign was a mistake, or would they defend it?
I'm sure they defended it.
August 2019, Marketing Week published an interview with Gary Coombe. The interviewer asked directly about the backlash and the $8 billion write-down.
Asked
Coombe
directly.
didn't retreat. He called the losses a price worth paying. His reasoning: for the majority of people to fall more deeply in love with today's brands, you have to risk upsetting a small minority, and that's what we've done.
I hope it was worth it. I hope it was
minority,
worth it. And I hope that it keeps going, because I hope that it was worth that. I hope you got exactly what you asked for, because to me it sounds...
Hey, Dollar Shave Club and Harry's can use more customers.
Like the advertisement worked. It sounded like he cared more about putting out this political message and virtue signaling than he did actually losing money and his company dwindling, right? So the advertisement worked. You got exactly what you was looking for. Attention from a bunch of women that are going to applaud you, but they're not going to buy your razors, right? Because you appeal to them.
I mean, they already hate you in a sense because you charge them more for pink razors. Remember, you are also the same razor brand that sells their razors.
Wrong audience. So it seems like the ad worked. Make men feel bad about themselves. Make women feel good that you made a political stance, right? But unfortunately for you, women aren't the ones that you've spent 100 years trying to appeal to.
The strategy was deliberate.
Doesn't make sense.
Gillette was willing to alienate older customers who were leaving anyway. The goal was winning younger, more progressive consumers who represented future growth, trading short-term losses for long-term brand positioning. And there was evidence the strategy generated significant engagement. Website traffic spiked to the highest levels in 5 years.
Yeah, but engagement doesn't mean sales. It's two very different things. Engagement doesn't necessarily mean sales. I'm interested to see the sales.
Over 1.5 million mentions across digital platforms within 24 hours. On paper, it looked like a win, but the research missed something critical. Awareness didn't convert to purchases. A Toluna survey revealed the gap. 77% of viewers felt hopeful after watching the ad, but only 34% said it made them want to purchase. The campaign had also targeted audiences.
It's just a weird way to go about it. Like, 76% are hopeful, but 34% wouldn't want to buy the product.
That were 51% female.
People
who might applaud the message, but weren't in the market for men's razors. A Glocality study of over 4,500 male Gillette consumers revealed another problem. Most Gillette buyers were traditional men who valued family and national pride.
That makes sense.
Equality.
They started their whole thing appealing to the army.
Correct.
Is that a big surprise? And then after that, every single advertisement showed traditional masculinity. You got Muhammad Ali in the advertisements. Who do you think is watching boxing predominantly? So it's like, yeah, you went against your core audience.
Priority. With its campaign, Gillette had taken a progressive stance, but positioned itself on the opposite side of its own customers. Susan Cantor, CEO of a branding consultancy, told NPR that the ad's positive message got lost in the negativity, leaving some men feeling lectured rather than inspired. The message from the market was clear. By August 2019, Gillette quietly shifted direction. The company announced it was shifting the spotlight from social issues to local heroes, like firefighters and personal trainers.
Too late, buddy.
The experiment was over. So that is the story of Gillette, a company that spent 118 years telling men they deserved the best a man can get, then spent 2 minutes telling them they needed to be better men. The backlash cost them $8 billion in 2019. 4 years later, in December 2023, P&G announced another $1.3 billion write-down.
I hope it was worth it. I hope that, we should ask him again. Ask that same CEO if it was worth it in the long run.
He might not even be CEO anymore.
Pounded. What exactly went wrong? It came down to 3 mistakes. First, Gillette targeted the wrong audience. The campaign reached people who would praise it, not people who would purchase. Second, They confused product relevance with cultural relevance. Nike succeeded with Kaepernick because sneakers are public, visible, worn as statements. Razors are private, utilitarian, used in bathrooms where no one's watching. Some products carry cultural meaning, others just solve problems. Third, they told existing customers they were the problem. The ad spent most of its runtime showing men behaving badly, then asked those same men to buy razors. Gary Coombe called the backlash a price worth paying. 6 years and $9.3 billion later, Gillette is still paying it. Maybe that's the real lesson. You can lecture your customers. You can take a stand. You can generate millions of views and worldwide conversation. But at the end of the day, someone still has to buy the razor.
Turns out, unlike popular opinion, all attention isn't good attention. I mean, to be honest, they worked hard for this downfall. They did everything in their power to get to exactly where they are.
I mean, they used to say any publicity is good publicity, right? But that's not the case anymore. Yeah, bad publicity, especially like those CEOs cheating or the CEO stealing a hat and all these things, all those publicities actually really affected the company, right? Nowadays, your image matters. It really does. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And see you guys next time. Ciao.